Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you all hear me okay? My name is Mao. I'm a poet. I thought tonight I would run through the best, at least what I consider to be the best of my work from the past 12 years. But before I do that, I thought, as this is a special occasion, and it's a book launch after all, and the room is filled with poets and writers and assorted literary people, and it's a really special event, I should begin with something really special. So I had a look in my memory and I had a look through my work, and I thought this should be the first night that I stand up on stage and recite a few lines by a different writer, somebody other than myself. And as you're all, well, mostly literary people, not only will you recognize who wrote them, but you'll also appreciate the genius behind them. And so I shall begin. I shan't give you the title, because you should all recognize it. Here goes. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I have got. I'm still Jenny from the block. I used to have a little, but now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. That's the end of that. Wonderful lines by J.Lo. Okay, let the real poetry begin. Okay, starting in 1997, when I was 16 years old, the first poem I wrote, I wanted to write a poem that would stand the test of time, that would be as relevant today as it was when I wrote it. I think it stands the test of time, but I'm going to leave it up to you. This poem, the first real proper poem I ever wrote, is called The Man in the End House. Billy was a nice old man. He liked the little girls. He drove an old white escort van. He drove it round the schools. That's the end of that poem. That was my first proper poem. Basically, the next 10 years were absolutely shit. I didn't write very much. I moved around a bit. I lived in Abertrudu. Nothing happened. And then 2007, when my sister Matt Jones asked me to be a warm-up act because she's a professional poet and she wanted someone to start off her gigs. And I started writing properly again. And I came up with this after a trip to Newport. This poem is called Scunizzi, which for those of you who don't speak Italian means street urchin. When we were young, to while the time away and escape from the adult world, we would spend whole evenings in bus shelters. Though in my day, we were too few to call a gang or group. Intimidation wasn't our intention, just peaceful observation and personal reflection. Today's bus stop gatherers are somewhat different. They are hunters of handbags, thieves and thugs, crack-smoking, knife-wielding soldiers of the street, cunning, ferocious, and streetwise. In order to tackle this problem, Newport County Council have installed speakers that play Mozart throughout the evening, and it seems to have worked. There are no more gangs or hooded men lurking, just old ladies whose buses never seem to arrive. That's the end of that poem. And coming up to March this year, my sister Matt was going on tour to America and she was doing a kind of preliminary show here in Cardiff, and she wanted all the poets and writers to write about America, and I know nothing about America. I've never been there, I'm never going to go there. So I had to draw on my experience of the Americans in the UK. And this is the best I could come up with. This is the collected sayings of American tourists. on visiting Caerphilly Castle. Gosh, that castle must be like 100 years old. Can you imagine? Everything here is just so old. It's so bizarre. On visiting Cardiff Castle. Gosh, this castle is like 100 years old. It's so hard to imagine how they built this. I mean, they didn't have Ford pickups then, did they? It's so bizarre. In London, on September the 11th, an hour after the Twin Towers had been struck. How could somebody do this? I mean, how? What were they thinking? Why would anybody do this? We've never heard anybody. And I was amazed by that one. Outside St. David's Hall on St. David's Day. This country is so cute. They've got dragons and love spoons, and even some of the road signs are in Elvish. It's just like being in the Lord of the Rings. I had no idea England was like this.